Hey everyone, Dr. Frunky here with what's about to be one of the most fun and personal unboxing videos that I've ever done. In front of us is the Gareth Bull Shamwari. This is the 3.25-inch version of his front flipper design, and it is absolutely spectacular. I have enjoyed carrying this and owning it. But it was interesting to me because when I got this knife from him, he shipped it all the way from Cape Town, South Africa, to the United States in a Ziploc bag and the express envelope that it came in. There was nothing in the bag. It was literally one of these. And so I mentioned that in my unboxing video of this knife where I said that there really was no box to show you. It literally came in one of those bags. And so when I mentioned that, Gareth has sort of stepped up his game with regards to his packaging, but he sent me a very personal message this time because I've just acquired one of his 3.5-inch models from one of his recent drops. So check this out. The bag, he sent this one in, said, I had to, it's tradition. And he sends it in this Glad bag right here. Inside, you can see that he has stepped his game up. He started shipping all of his knives in this black case. It really looks like a little sunglass case, but it's at least something solid to ship the knives in. It literally was just kind of unprotected before. But this gets even deeper. When you open this up, he's got a green little baggie that it comes in. He did that especially for me, just since I got this knife. But inside, so this is an example right here. This is what the knife actually shipped like originally, except there was no message. And this one says, because you enjoyed the last one so much, in Doctor, and then he wrote something that I don't think anyone can read. I'm pretty sure he just made up some scribbles here because no one can read Doctor. And here's a little symbol, who knows what that means. But inside of this bag, as you can probably see, is a brand new Gareth Bull 3.5-inch Shamwari right here. And this is a very different knife from the smaller one. Besides the obvious differences right here, it's got a 3.5-inch blade, and some other changes as well, and we'll get into the specs and the differences. So right away you can see that it is bigger and beefier than its younger brother right there. If I put these guys kind of butt to butt and then line them up, you could see the 3.5-inch model has a significant size advantage right there. But it's not just in the length that this has an advantage, it's also in the blade stock and in the handle stock, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So I'll go ahead and move the baby brother off the screen here so we can focus more on the knife of topic today. I'll bring out a couple of knives here for a size comparison. Here is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, so you can see this comes in a nice EDC size, smaller than the PM2. How about the Mannix 2? How does it compare to that? We're looking at right at about that same overall profile size. So what's really cool about this is look how much more blade you get on this knife right here. I think a very apt comparison is going to be the Chris Reeve Knives Large Inkosi. This is coming in at about 3.6 inches, but look at the similarities in the overall appearance of these two knives. Definitely a South African resemblance going on there. So now that we've seen it in comparison to a few others, we can get some raw numbers. Up front, you're looking at that exactly 3.5-inch blade. Back to the pivot is 4 inches, and overall length is coming in at about 8.25 inches. The handle length is coming in at about 4.6, 4.5 inches, something like that. And the grip area is about 4.25 inches overall. So very, very nice size. I really like having a slightly bigger knife. I like to carry 3.5 plus inch knives. It works with my larger hand, so I was very excited to get this one. He announced it on an Instagram post that he was going to have a drop, and I just happened to be on vacation that week, and so I was able to grab it. So his auctions or his drops go so quickly, it's unbelievable. I'm pretty sure this one was sold out within about 8 seconds, and I'm being very serious about that. I was literally on my phone hitting refresh over and over to try to snag this, so I feel very lucky to have it. Let's go ahead and break this knife down anatomically. Up front is this beautifully done blade in M390 steel. There's a lot of light in the room, so I apologize if it's screwing my camera up. But the thing that I love about the Shamwari blade, and it is exactly the same as the small Shamwari as you saw earlier, it has beautifully done mirrored flats with a hand-done satin on the primary bevel. The crown of the blade is, the spine of the blade is crowned here. It's rounded off, but that transitions into the top swedge of the blade. And it's just this really elegant thing, and when you get it into this larger blade size, it becomes even more apparent how amazing that is. I'm not sure how well it's coming through. I see my camera going way in and out of focus, so I really apologize for that. But it is a stunning, stunning thing to behold. A beautiful drop point shape. His logo is very classy and it looks great. There is no labeling of the blade steel, but he makes it very clear that he's using M390 for these, so that's very cool. The blade shape is extremely functional. I've loved it on the small version, and having a larger version of it is going to be great. It's so classic and so nice to look at. I just really enjoy that. Another nice thing is that it's a front flipper deployment. The Shamwari is known for that, and a lot of Gareth Bull knives do that. And this one has all of the awesome smoothness that you would expect from a Shamwari, even at this size. I should go ahead and mention that the blade stock on this knife is about 157 thousandths as compared to the standard model that comes in at 125 thousandths. So a much thicker blade going on there. Nice size for a 3.5-inch knife. Now, in order to actuate the front flipper mechanism, it's got this rather sharp jimping up here, and that's something that I've had to get used to. The detent is stronger and the blade is heavier, and so you need to get more traction. And in order to do that, he's made the jimping right there a bit more aggressive. Now, that has done a number on my finger, but it's not too bad. Once you kind of build up a callus right there, it's actually quite fun, and it works very well. It's incredibly smooth, and as you can see, it just drops shut just like the smaller version does. Speaking of that action, it does run on a ball bearing pivot right there, so super, super smooth. I'm going to try to reach around and get this to flip out this way. It's a little bit harder on this one because of that detent. An interesting thing about the pivot is obviously the backside here. This is a zirconium Overtravel stop that has been integrated into the handle of the knife. It is a really, really elegant thing. He milled this himself, and it is actually sort of stuck to the pivot. It's tied into the pivot in a very functional way, so it acts as the screw, at least the base of the pivot, and then the screw is adjusted from the presentation side. This looks like a rather robust steel screw, so that's pretty nice. I know that I can tune this knife if I need to. This piece just adds a little bit of contrast, and in this particular textured version with all of this all these mill lines and everything, I think it just provides an awesome contrast, seeing the circular patterns in contrast to these very linear patterns. I think that's great. Speaking of those patterns, let's look at this handle. This is beautifully done milled titanium handles. I went for the textured version, so it's called, because I wanted to know what this felt like in hand. Again, and I thought that it was an awesome visual contrast to the circular lines on the Overtravel stop. Now, the grippiness of this textured version is definitely nice in hand. I love the way that it feels. I am sort of interested to see how this is going to work out. This is not flattened down underneath the pocket clip. So carrying this already for 2 days now, it has been okay in the pocket. The ramp is perfect on this deep carry pocket clip. What I find myself doing is something that I do on a lot of my pocket clips anyways, is just sort of putting my finger there, pulling up on the clip ever so slightly when sliding it into the pocket, and sometimes even when I'm taking it out, but not always when I'm taking it out. This is pretty easy to just draw back on. Then it spares my pockets a little bit. Even on knives that have a perfectly smooth interface, I'll still lift up on the clip a little bit just to help glide it in and save my pants a little bit. In any case, these handle scales are 167 thousandths thick each, and it's a super, super nice size and thickness. You can definitely feel it in your hand. The overall thickness of this knife comes in at just under half an inch at 0.49 inches. We'll just confirm that blade stock is right there, 158 thousandths, something like that. So that's really, really nice, and I'm really appreciative to have this one in my collection. It definitely feels like a beefier, stronger version of the small Shamwari, and it's every bit as elegant at the same time. And I think that's really, really exciting. I'm going to enjoy carrying this. You're obviously going to get a final diagnosis. I may even throw the two knives together in a final diagnosis video. Maybe a comparison video at one point. But in any case, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the larger 3.5-inch Gareth Bull Shamwari down below. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Head over to Instagram and follow me at Dr. Frunky over there. Check out Gareth Bull's Instagram. That's where he announces all of his drops. And as always, guys, take care.